Good morning, everyone. Soter here. It is April 12th, 3 days before tax day. I'm dreading it. I still have to file my taxes for last year, and unfortunately, a lot of people are like, oh, taxes, I'm going to get some money back. I don't really like filing my taxes, but at least I'm going to get a return. Well, I was an independent contractor for the law firm I worked for, so since I didn't pay my estimated taxes throughout the year, I just owe the government a lot of money and will be receiving nothing back. So the day is even more dreaded for me, sadly enough. For our wake up rundown, April 12th, I don't have too many League of Legends related things, except we're all really anxiously awaiting the Hecarim patch. Really excited to see what happens there, see all the new changes, the promised Teemo quality of life changes, the new champion, how he's going to fit into the meta, so on and so forth. And I actually want to see if Riot is going to make any changes based on, the GG Classic, if any of them watch that, and IPL4, which is more realistic, in the sense that, certain dominant champions throughout those matches, Nidalee, Vladimir, Kog'Maw, Lee Sin, those are kind of like the big ones, Olaf too, with really high win rates that were really used a lot. I mean, Janna was still used a lot, had a decent win rate, but not like a huge win rate. I think it was like 63% or thereabouts. But Olaf, I think, won like 80% of his games. Nidalee won 80% of her games. Kog'Maw wasn't like incredibly good in the win rate, but was played just a ton and was certainly effective in all the games he was played. And who else was kind of up there? Shyvana, of course, won like all of her games until like the extended champions, wherein TSM somehow managed to counter Shyvana. So that might be another nerf coming her direction. I kind of figured like the change that they made would be enough, but her clear time is still incredibly fast. The one thing I like about her is how fast she can clear wards, which seems like a silly thing to really like about a champion, but hey, it's something. And she is still a pretty dominant presence top lane as well as in the jungle. So we'll see. We'll see if Riot has any kind of plans for her up and coming, and whether or not there'll be any surprises in the patch. Because we of course have seen like leaked public beta test patch notes, but there's often a lot of changes made between what's released on the beta server and what actually goes in live. And sometimes it's less, but sometimes they sneak in some more things. So really excited to see that, and I have no idea when it's going to come out. The other thing, I was listening to the news this morning, and Bobby Petrino, the coach for Arkansas, I believe it's Arkansas, yes, former coach now, had the time in a 7-month period. He texted his, kind of mistress 4,300 times. So I did the math over 210 days, which is 7 months. He was texting her on average 20 times a day, and there was like hundreds and hundreds of phone calls as well. Just like, wow, you're a 50-year-old man or whatever. How do you have the time to text this lady so much, and why are you texting her so much? Like, I can understand if you're in high school, you don't have too many obligations, you're with your first love, then maybe I understand 20 texts a day, but even then, it's like kind of overboard. But 20 texts a day from like a grown man who's making $3.5 million a year, it makes me call into question, what do coaches do? And I've thought about that, kind of frequently. Like, certainly there's some coaches that I don't particularly like Bill Belichick. But I'm like, wow, he just seems to spend like all week, like 12 hours a day at least, making game plans, kind of changing up his style, or just, perfecting his style and making sure, his plan will work for the Patriots, despite the fact that they might have new pieces in there, whatever. So, I mean, I don't like Bill Belichick by any measure, but I think he does a lot of work, which I kind of respect. But then I look at like a lot of college coaches, and what they do is kind of suspect. It's kind of based on their players. Oh, motivate their players. Just make sure they know how to run the basic plays, and that's kind of that. But when they make multiple $1 million of a year, I don't know. Maybe we should hold them to a higher standard, because like a lot of college coaches get in trouble, and I understand they're kind of in an environment that like makes them prone to getting in trouble. They're around a bunch of 20-year-old females all the time, and they're kind of old men with crotchety wives. So I understand that they might, be looking to go different avenues with their sex lives. But even still, if you're going to do that, I don't really mind the extramarital affair because it doesn't affect me. I mean, of course, I don't condone it in any manner, but it's like I'm not going to get on someone's case if they, have an affair, and they happen to be, a college person or a college coach or teacher or whatnot. Of course, you shouldn't do it with a student. You shouldn't give them preferential treatment, which, Bobby Petrino did, I think, both of those things in this case. But really, really, if you're getting paid a ton of money from a college who's getting funded by, heavily by taxpayer money, then you shouldn't have the time to be sending out 20 texts a day. And, you could be like, oh, well, texts only take 5 seconds. Well, I don't know. If you're sending them to, like, someone you like, you're probably, like, focusing on them quite a bit, probably taking a little bit of time. Say you only spend, like, 15 seconds writing them, but, I mean, consider that this guy is an old guy, so you probably, like, text really slowly. In that case, it was probably taking like 45 seconds to write them, and then he has to wait around, make sure it's sent. I don't know if you guys do that, but whenever I send a text message, it takes like 3 seconds to like ensure that it's sent, and then I like kind of reflect on it. And of course, if he sent that many, of course he received a lot, probably an equal amount. So man, I don't even know what to say about that. This guy's getting millions of dollars, a lot of it taxpayer money, and he's just carrying on this affair, which is a bad thing to begin with. But what makes it even worse, of course, is that he's spending a ton of time, conducting this affair in private. And how do you remain in private when you're, sending so many texts and talking on the phone so frequently? I have no idea. This guy was like a magician, apparently. Regardless, man. So that was kind of my, disbelief moment of the morning. And, how does that relate to LoL? Well, people in LoL, it's in the esport, and it's like evolving, and people want to be, these kind of stars and superstars and whatnot. And I like this and I respect it, but like a lot of the people that we have out there right now aren't really people that you want to be emulating. And that being said, like Michael Jordan, for example, probably like the most famous, sports icon in my lifetime, is probably not a person you want to be emulating either. I mean, on the court, yeah, super competitive, but off the court, I mean, kind of has a gambling problem, and that's kind of stems from the same thing, like a lot of competition in his blood. And we're going to have the same problem with esports. Like all these people who do really well are really competitive in their own right. So they might, not have some of the other social graces we'd want for role models. But anyways, if someone getting paid $3.5 million can get away with such shenanigans, then I guess we should take it a little bit easier on all the esports stars for now. I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate when they get to a tournament late, but at least we haven't had any huge scandals that have rocked the scene quite yet. Quite yet. Maybe we'll see one down the line where like a Riot person gets into bed with one of the pro players, and somehow they get extra points in the in the challenger circuit standings, something like that. We shall see. We shall see. Anyways, we had a lot of fun last night with our community games. It was Zarthalis on Kennen picking up a pentakill that won the $25 RP card. Next week we're going to try to do it on EU West, and of course our regular ones over here. Same time, same place, same bat channel. But Own TV has been doing a little suspicious thing, like it hasn't been uploading the videos immediately, because previously the videos would upload, we would make clips, and we'd show them to everyone, which was a really nice like kind of tool that we could use. We would show people what the play of the game was immediately after the game. Unfortunately, the loading of the videos is taking a long time from Own side, so it wasn't up all last night. When I woke up this morning, the videos were up. So now the videos have been named. They're on our own channel. If you want to watch your own video, if you want to watch the highlights from those games, they are up, and that includes, Psych 115's really kind of crazy Fiddle ultimate flash away, ultimate back in to, kind of counter a gank, and the pentakill from Zarthalis. And also we had, I think, Diglett, who saved a Lee Sin from diving into the base turret by timing his headbutt, immediately with Lee Sin's Q. So Lee Sin was moving forward with his Q and just got headbutted out at the exact same time, and it was kind of a silly play. It really made me laugh at the time, so have a look at that as well. Anyways, going to stop the recording for the Wake Up Rundown, and we're going to get into some solo